Good evening and welcome back. I'm Teddy and it's Night Talk. Shout out to the mob, all my other bears. I call the Grizzlies and the Honey Bears. So, what's going on? What we're going to talk about for a few minutes? hmm So, what are we going to call this? 4 for 4? 4 and 0? Y'all want to know what's next? Do you want to know what's next, really? I told you I don't have a crystal ball. It's just called patterns and paying attention. That's all. So, what is this? We can talk about the timing, because timing tells the truth when people don't or when people won't. So there was a judgment, right? A $10,000 judgment in the Smith case. But she didn't show up for her own hearing, and almost immediately after that, we see a shift. Not accountability, not explanation, not really, a pivot. Now, suddenly, she's announcing, well, I told you last night I thought something was going on, but now it's a halt for 30 days, a pause in monetization. So that was true, you know, and now directing her audience somewhere else. That's right. And not casually structured, behind a paywall. Maybe there's something free, yeah. But let's slow this down for a minute because people miss what's happening when it's dressed up as a rebrand. This isn't random. Maybe we can say it's P for pressure. When you stop the free content, you create a gap. When you create a gap, you create urgency. And when you attach that urgency to a subscription model, listen carefully. I'm going somewhere with this. You convert your audience into paying customers. Now add one more layer. This teasing access to court materials, transcripts behind the paywall. So now it's not just entertainment. Now if you want to know what's really going on, you have to pay. Well, it's the country we live in. That's fine. But that's kind of gatekeeping information tied to a monthly fee. Now listen carefully. And then there's this language. Just wait. It's going to get bigger. I'll be able to do more. Now, that was said over a week ago. Maybe some of you didn't catch that. That's not someone stepping back. And this was before the hearing. That's someone building towards something else. And if you've been watching this space, you already know what that might look like. I'm going to say might. Fair use commentary for education, criticism, news reporting, and entertainment purposes only. Something closer to, watch this, pay per view or subscription network model, like what we've seen with platforms where everything is locked behind a membership and the creator controls the entire pipeline. No more platform rules. No visibility unless you pay. no accountability unless someone brings it into view. Now, tie that back to the bigger picture. This is the same individual who is actively involved in litigation, who avoids appearing in court, who maintains anonymity as a shield. And now, at the exact moment, financial pressure, I don't know, but let's just say that shows up, shifts the audience into a direction to payment structure. So the question becomes, is this a rebrand or is this a repositioning? Where the audience becomes the buffer, because when ad revenue gets uncertain, when visibility changes, when legal pressure increases, a subscription model does one thing very well. I hear it stabilizes income. And look at the sequencing: court loss, silence on that loss, 30-day halt, push Patreon, promise of something bigger. That's not chaotic, that's intentional. So when you hear, just wait, it's going to get bigger, you have to ask, bigger for who? Because right now, what we're seeing is a shift from public content to controlled access, from open platform to paid entry, and that changes the entire dynamic. Should I stop? Do y'all want to know what's going on? What I think? There's like so many things, like at least 3 I could float. All right, so let's stick with a model of sort. Like let's take, for example, Tasha K Live. Hear me out. Tasha K Live has a subscription service. And what that does for her, it's very liberating, where she can control, but for a fee. You pay a monthly, just like she has built it up. Like, like any of these services. And the last time I think I looked, because I dropped my subscription over at least a year ago, because I have different subscriptions to watch, channels that I don't even watch. Okay. But yeah, but it's more controlled and it's revenue stream. Again, just one thought. There's others. It's 11 o'clock. Let's see. Maybe I'll read your comments. When I get to thinking, wheels start turning. I can talk, you know, for at least 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. But wait a minute, let me put up the comments. Let's do that. I keep forgetting. There we go. All comments are allegedly and the opinion of whomever made them. So let me say this. First of all, you might be wondering the transcript from the hearing is on Pacer, but not visible yet publicly if you're off site. Okay, now let me explain. For the parties, I'm sure they have access to it, right? And so here's what it is. Let me see if I can just. All right. So if you want access to the transcripts right now, it's 50, by the way, it's 56 pages. And the least expensive way to actually obtain it, like get the transcript, it's $4.40 per page. So call it $250, all right, to get the total transcript, but you have to wait 30 days, all right? Now, if you want it super fast, you can pay an upcharge, I think, like even once it's released, 2 hours, I think, is the speediest. But let's just say a day. I could look it up. But then you're talking double that per page. So figure something around maybe $450 if you just can't wait. Now, the plaintiff and defendant, they're party to the case, so they have it. I believe they have it, right? Now, the other way that you can see it is you can physically go down to the court and you can get on one of their terminals. And that doesn't cost you anything. But you can't record it. Of course, they don't, first of all, you can't print it. You can't record it, any of that on their terminals. All right. But you can read it. And you can sit there as long as you want because they have multiple terminals, at least 4, I think, terminals, where people go in and they're filling things out. So depending on how busy or, they are, you can go down there and you can take a look at it. By the way, there's something kind of interesting. The 14th, right, was the day of the hearing. Guess who filed something in the court on the 14th? Not electronically. The defendant in my case filed, it's court stamped, the 14th. And it showed up today. I thought, well, but now I'm wondering also, and I have to look at it. Wouldn't you know that they put a couple of thumbnails in there from my videos? And so I'm just going to tell you, but I have to look to see. So Jennifer is now, his name is up, when he was up on my panel, I guess. Now, wasn't he just on my panel? But was it 2 times? I have to go and look at this because I just think this is just, how did that happen? Anyway, so I'm just kind of catching you guys up. That's a side note. Yeah. And I haven't read it yet. Yeah. So let me read some of your comments here in between. And some folks are out in the bushes. Let's go here. Hey, Junebug, Vicky, Baby Juju, please remember to hit the like on your way in. All comments and opinions are welcome. Be respectful and mindful of the words that you use. Email me right now at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. And says, good evening. All right. Ivy, listen carefully. It's too late to switch up. That's what Joanne thinks. A switch. Now, everything is intentional. It's planned. This isn't just an, incidental. It's calculated. Mhm. Yeah. Now, I kind of see something because I'm thinking a little bit. I'm trying to think a little on the outside of the box. She's moving. Vicky says she's moving on. Yeah, I'm not joining the membership. No. And she said, I think it's like 30 more days, the memberships will be turned back on YouTube. Okay. So listen carefully. Now, I'm just thinking, okay. So what if part of this strategy was to turn off the membership, okay, pause them on YouTube, make this announcement to, join over for the next 30 days. So what that does, you've got this alignment of two different, 30-day here, 30-day there, right? What that possibly could mean is, okay, push pause. That halts your payment on YouTube. But what you can do is while you're not paying on YouTube, that might entice someone to say, it's easy now. I can just, I'll join for a month. But what happens? It's kind of a way to say, again, this is just conversation. I'll make it really easy for you. If you get what I mean. Mm-hmm. Maybe someone's taking a cue from someone else. Love says 777 says, by posting, she'll receive money from Patreon. Oh, I have no idea how that would affect. Because here's the thing. Whose money? Whose Patreon? who it's kind of like on YouTube when it was challenged immediately, it was said, I'm not on anything. So the same thing can happen. If challenged, she could say, I'm not, it's not my account. The same, the same way, it's same thing, but it's another way to move around. That's all I'm going to say. It's another way to layer anonymity. It is. Move things around quickly. Just kind of move things. I don't know. Okay, who else do I see? Sharon, good evening. Survivor, 1, good evening. And good evening, Bush babies. And they're always watching because, my broadcast thumbnails have ended up, recent ones, in a filing that was filed on the 14th. Now, that means, let's go back to that real quick. That means someone physically walked into the courthouse on Tuesday and filed, in my case, for the defendant. Yeah. So there's a lot going on. Yeah. Still nothing, no response from the court in my case. But a reply to my response to their stay, right? Motion to stay. Yeah. That's interesting. I wonder, who was that down at the court on the 14th, up on the 5th floor, because that's where the clerk's office is. And I don't think it was mailed because it contains thumbnails from my video. So someone physically took that down there. On the 14th, I wonder, was it in the afternoon? Yeah. Sharon says Patreon gets taken down often. You know what? I don't go over there. I guess I'm just guessing. You can, go live and put up, videos or, very much like other social media, right? But maybe they're more flexible in the type of content that you can post over there. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, back to, so the transcript, so yes, you can go down to the court and go into the clerk's office or wherever they have these terminals, and you can view it. If you know the case number, I think that's all you need. maybe the case number or the party's names, last name. Smith versus Robertson. I don't know. I haven't been down. Yeah, since Monday I filed. Yeah. And that's another thing. I filed on Monday and it was posted on Monday. And she responds on Tuesday. Yeah, like right away. And someone takes it down there the very next day, Tuesday. Just interesting. So, what do you think? It's 11:20. What do you think? Shell game? Like move things around? Yeah. Like, is it a little bit more difficult to reach out to Patreon? I don't even know. Kind of like these websites. The further you get away from like, I guess, platforms such as Instagram or YouTube or X, and you get into something else, I think it might be a little trickier to go through the channels. I don't know. Yeah. Joanne says she's playing the same old game that she played with Kimmy again. It's not going to work. She's going to lose again. Now, did someone mention? Well, okay, so let's be honest. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think next? She's going to respond to the court. Number one, she's going to respond on the transcript. Okay. And they have, I think it's, what is this? April 16th. I think 21 days, whenever that falls, to, if they want to have things redacted, file something to redact something from the transcript. Yeah. And then once that period's over, again, it's going to take, I think after the restriction period or something like that, then the transcript can be released to the public. But I think it goes public after 90 days. All right. Yeah. Where you don't have to pay for it. It's just going to be online, I think in July. So yeah. So if you want to wait, you can wait 90 days and you don't have to pay anything if you want to see, it's the transcript from the hearing. Which I expect, it's procedural. Yeah. I don't, it's a transcript. It's not video footage. I mean, transcripts are important. I look at transcripts. It's a record. Mm-hmm. But I thought I'd let you know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, I get down to the court because I have to file things. So, yeah, I'm sure I'll look at it. Yeah, just scan it, look at it, see what it was about. Yeah. But again, no copies, no phones, none of that. no printing. It's a court terminal that you can use now. Yeah. I could say, I could say a few more things. She is like recording everything I say. She's like waiting on it. And even mentioned Jennifer now. Yes, Jennifer. Put his comment up on one of the, put up the chat. I have to look at it again. I didn't read it yet. I looked at the pages and I'll go over it when I get a chance next day. If you are enjoying the video, please hit the like button. This again is strategic. Oh, let's see. What is this? Sharon says, now, Teddy, court listener is free. Register an account. LawTube uses it. Okay. Something seemed, yes, something seems off. I used that phrase earlier. Just something, something's going on. Yeah. Joanne seems to think that it's hard for anyone who's anonymous to win in any court of law. Most anonymous cases are not the defendant. Rarely. 99% of the time, they are with the plaintiff prosecution, not the defendant. All right, so little statistics there. All right, so I haven't been on, is Court Watch? No, Court Listener. Okay, yeah. No. Yes, I've heard of Court Listener. And yes, I've what was I looking for, a citation? I think they have like citations too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But again, I think what she's going to do with the transcript, beside reviewing, is respond. Respond for, take some type of action on it. Yeah. Thought about it a little bit more. There's something that can be, what is it? Like file, just like, what is it? I want to get the right. Wait a minute. Let's see if I can get the name. Okay, so it's called, this is what I think she's probably going to do. file some type of motion to set aside the judgment. Mm-hmm. And it's the kind of motion that is used when it didn't appear like a default or no-show, claiming, some type of mistake or, something in the transcript, something is emotion, some type of argument. Again, repeating maybe why they couldn't attend or some type of procedural, it's something. Yeah. Like put it into motion. Yeah. Maybe something else. There's different types. Maybe something to amend the judgment or alter. So it's just something. I definitely think she's, yeah. Now that I thought about it, I thought again, my first thought was, oh, she's going to maybe pay to, to stay anonymous. She can stay anonymous for a while. By filing these things, because that's what she does. Files and files and files. Can't be sure, but that's what I think. So expect to hear more. And again, this is giving me why I'm talking about. This is giving me a preview of, it's just giving me a preview of how, things go with this. With the process and with the person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't know how all this is going to turn out. In my case. But, yeah, she's giving us a view into window of how she moves around. She said she moves in silence. But for those who know, she said, email me right now at UNWINEWITHTEDDY. As a matter of fact, let me check and see if there's anything. I'm good, but there was something. Wait a minute. Yes, thanks everyone for dropping in the Bear Cave and showing support. It's 11:34. It's time to say goodnight. Great live and update. Good night, Teddy and the mom. Biggest bear hugs go out to each and every one of the grizzlies and honey bears. Please hit the like on your way out and join me sometime tomorrow. Now it's time to say good night. What you say?